these two are individually stars in their own right. But when they first got together in 2008, Scarlett Johansson was only 23 and Ryan Reynolds was 31. They were together from 2008 to 2011, but let's get into their full history. They were seemingly a very private couple, only seen by the paparazzi a few times and out in public at events a couple, and they seemed to really want to focus on their individual careers. Going back to the beginning when they started dating in 2007, briefly spotted together here and there, with rumors that they might be settling down pretty quickly, which makes sense for Ryan Reynolds, who was at the time 30 turning 31. But Scarlett Johansson was still fairly young at 22 years old when they met, and they were actually linked shortly after Ryan Reynolds ended his engagement to the singer Alanis Morissette. And they were actually engaged for many years, I think about 3. But they ended their engagement and Ryan quickly got together with Scarlett.
3 names: Scarlett Johansson, Justin Baldoni, and Ryan Reynolds. Oh, I am about to blow your mind, and I need to know if you think this is as intentional as some seem to think. Scarlett Johansson is set to make her directorial debut with a film titled Eleanor the Great. It's about a 90-year-old woman rebuilding her life after the death of her best friend. Should be so sweet. But who co-financed this film, you ask? You didn't really ask, but trust me, you want to know. Wayfarer Studios?
Blake Lively was the work wife that he told you not to worry about. Okay, at least that's what it seems like to me. Let's talk about Blake Lively's relationship timeline with Ryan Reynolds and how it has sort of collided with this drama with Justin Baldoni. When you look at these photos and when you look at these videos of Blake and Ryan doing the promos of the Green Lantern, it's very much giving work wife and work husband and the girl that he told you not to worry about.
After what I can only assume Ryan Reynolds thought was a triumphant appearance on Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary, he must not have loved seeing Colin Jost come back to Saturday Night Live last night with a joke at his wife Blake Lively's expense.
Hey everyone, have you heard the latest? Scarlett Johansson is about to blow our minds with her directorial debut, Eleanor the Great, and trust me, the way it's being financed through Wayfarer Studios is nothing short of jaw-dropping. I mean, who would have thought that a project this daring would have such an unconventional backing? It's almost as if Hollywood itself is shaking up its old playbook. Now, let's talk about Ryan Reynolds. Remember that buzz at Blake Lively's 50th anniversary? His appearance wasn't just any cameo, it was loaded with tension from his past that still makes people wonder what's really going on behind those charming smiles. It seems like every time Ryan steps out in public, there's an undercurrent of drama, a reminder that his past is never really done with him. Speaking of drama, the real kicker is the roller coaster relationship history between Scarlett and Ryan. These two were once the power couple everyone was talking about. Their romance kicked off in the late 2000s, a whirlwind that led them from early dating days straight to a marriage in 2008. But just when you thought things were picture perfect, the relationship unraveled by 2011. You can almost feel the intensity in every whispered rumor and every scandalous headline. This wasn't just any breakup, it was a collision of ambition, youth, and clashing personalities. What really adds fuel to the fire is the age and career dynamics at play. Scarlett, so young and bursting with potential, was just starting to shine, while Ryan had already established himself as a major force in Hollywood. Imagine the pressure, 2 stars trying to make it big, but on very different trajectories. It's like watching a high-stakes game where every move counts, and the stakes are personal as well as professional. And let's not forget the professional rivalry that simmered just below the surface. Scarlett hinted more than once that the competitive nature of their careers was a huge factor in their marital issues. Ryan was always seen as traditional and a bit controlling, expecting things to go his way, while Scarlett was fiercely independent, determined to blaze her own trail. That kind of clash? It's explosive, and it makes you wonder if their breakup was inevitable. Now, here's where it gets even juicier. Rumors of infidelity started swirling around during the filming of Green Lantern. Yes, you heard that right. While on set, when Ryan met Blake Lively, there were whispers of emotional, and possibly even physical, betrayal. It's the kind of scandal that makes you want to hit the replay button, because every new detail just drips with intrigue. How did things go from a simple set meeting to one of Hollywood's most talked about love triangles?
And then he was engaged to Scarlett Johansson in 2008. This was in May of 2008. But they were actually married by September of 2008. So not a long engagement, pretty quick, especially after his last relationship with Alanis Morissette. They stayed together in 2011 after the launch of Ryan Reynolds' movie Green Lantern, which is where he met his now wife Blake Lively.
I never thought that I'd be planning my wedding in like a dark alley somewhere, but it turned out that way. It was really quite secretive, and I felt like I was doing a drug deal without all the without all the the fun.
Scarlett Johansson tells David Letterman that she and Ryan Reynolds went to extremes to keep the details of their wedding under wraps. The famously private couple tied the knot in late 2008. Mrs. Reynolds said helicopters spoiled their efforts, but the ceremony was gorgeous anyway.
I got married in a very remote part of Canada. There were bears and whales and eagles. It was just, it was like...
Scarlett is currently the LUK cover girl, and she opened up about being the former Mrs. Reynolds. She said, quote, "I got married when I was young, and it was incredibly romantic, and I liked being married actually. But it is different. It's hard to put into words." As for her definition of what it takes to make something work, Scarlett explained, quote, "Being in a functioning relationship doesn't mean you have to be married. I never think about marriage. Is that weird? The only time I ever think about it is when people ask me, would I get married again?"
Scarlett has been pretty open about the challenges of understanding marriage at such a young age. In interviews, she's reflected on how naive it all felt back then, how, at 23, she was swept up in the romance without fully grasping the reality of commitment. Even when the divorce happened, there was no screaming match or bitter fallout. It was more like a quiet, painful unraveling of what could have been a beautiful partnership. And while some might expect a bitter breakup, the truth is that even amid the heartache, there were moments of genuine connection that made it all the more tragic. But wait, there's more. While Scarlett was grappling with the complexities of love and loss, both she and Ryan were making massive leaps in their careers. Ryan went on to light up the screen in Deadpool, and Scarlett found her place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Their simultaneous rise only added another layer of irony to their past relationship dynamics. Imagine having two of Hollywood's hottest stars, each carving out their own legacy while the ghost of their old romance lingered in the background. And then comes Blake Lively, the fresh chapter in Ryan's life that everyone just can't stop talking about. With Blake, it's a whole new ball game. Their relationship is built on years of shared experiences, a loving family with 4 kids, and a chemistry that shines both on and off the screen. Yet even this new fairy tale isn't without its twists. The public image of this couple is nearly perfect, but behind the scenes, recent controversies and legal battles have started to chip away at that facade. Speaking of controversies, if you thought the past was enough, hold on. Recently, things took a wild turn during an appearance on Saturday Night Live. Jokes that hinted at past infidelities and ongoing legal disputes left fans reeling. It's as if the past is clashing head-on with the present, and every word, every laugh on stage, is loaded with subtext. The tension is real, and it's making waves in Hollywood like never before.
We'd spoken so much about not just our relationships and what it was like to be, single parents or how it was to co-parent, but we also talked a lot about our parents and our families and, all of that stuff kind of made it in there. And when I got the script, I was so surprised by how much love remained between those two people. It was a love story told through divorce.
And like I said, I don't think Ryan Reynolds wanted to have another movie star as his girlfriend. This article reports the streets are saying that Ryan couldn't handle Scarlett being more successful than him, and people suspect that Ryan inserted himself into the "it ends with us" drama because he doesn't like being outshined by a partner. Scarlett Johansson might have hinted at a toxic competition in their relationship during a May 2016 interview with Cosmo. She said, quote, "The logistics of being with another actor are challenging." She said there has to be a real understanding of how you share your time, especially when two people's careers are going at the same rate. Or even if one person is more successful than the other, that also proves to be challenging. Even though she did not name drop Ryan, we all knew who she was talking about because they were married when she was in her early 20s.
Honestly, came together. I think Greg Berlanti, who's our director, is a huge fan of Colin's. And Colin's, I think he had to do it because it's like in our prenuptial agreement. If I ask him to do something, he has to be there to support me. I run lines with him, and which is great. You'd think that would be very convenient because you have a partner there to help you out. You have to learn your lines, he really commits to the line reading. And it's not always the performance I want it to be.
Yeah, but he was good in this movie.
He's great. He's so funny and off the cuff and charming and great.
According to In Touch Weekly, their relationship lacked warmth due to their strong personalities. The insider revealed they're both strong-willed and stubborn people. There was a lack of warmth between them, and that was troubling. Ryan can be an overbearing control freak. He's more traditional emotional while she's more independent. When he wanted her there, he expected her to drop everything and come to him. She got tired of the double standard because he wanted to be the big star and he wanted everything his way, and she has a sense of self-worth. There were reports of Scarlett being angry often and having heated arguments with Ryan, including one incident on the set of the movie The Proposal.
I can't imagine what dating would be like with kids. Well, that's not true. I had my daughter when I met Colin, but you know, we met at SNL and it was like I'd known him for a very, very long time through.
So you knew him. Did you ever find him attractive?
You know, he's a very, I think, a very cute guy, but the other times that I was there, I was, you know, in a relationship and I was not like, you know, like, oh, he's cute, but, you know, whatever.
Right.
And this time, the timing was right. It was like, I think he looked differently to me because I was available. Like, it was just, the timing has to be right. I think, like, I've definitely been in relationships where the timing was not right. And I also kind of think you have to recognize when it's not. Obviously, if you know it's not the right person, it's not the right person. But sometimes it's a good person, but the timing is off. And it's important to be open to that too.
So,
like,
what's the bottom line here?
Resurfaced
Scarlett
remarks,
Johansson's
this time
upcoming
involving
film is
her
just the tip of the
ex-husband
iceberg
Ryan
when it comes
Reynolds
to the
and his
swirling,
wife.
dramatic world
Johansson's
of these
alleged
A-list
subtle
stars.
revelations
From
and
unconventional film
resurfaced
financing and
comments
explosive
were
public
once one of
appearances to a
Hollywood's
love
most
story that
talked
turns
about
sour into current
couples
romance
was a
under
union
intense
between
scrutiny.
two
This is one
incredibly
saga that keeps
successful
getting
actors
juicier.
at the peak
You won't
of their
believe how
careers
intertwined their
before
lives are.
marrying
Each
Colin
chapter more
Jost.
scandalous and
Scarlett
heart-stopping than the
Johansson has
last.
occasionally
If you're
hinted at
hooked on
some
the idea of
theatrics
hidden truths
emphasize that
behind
in a
glittering celebrity
relationship where
lives,
both
then
partners
stick
have
around.
demanding
There's
careers,
more drama,
there must be
more
a mutual
revelations, and
understanding.
even
There
more
has to be a
unexpected
real
twists just
understanding
around
of
the
how you
corner.
share your
And
time,
trust me,
especially
you'll want
when
to be
two
the first to
people's
know every
careers are
shocking detail
progressing
as
at
it
the same
unfolds in
rate,
this wild,
Johansson
ever-evolving
stated.
story of
Although her
Hollywood
comments
love,
were
betrayal,
diplomatic,
and
they seemed
reinvention.
to suggest that there were